Good afternoon, I'm Charles Lejano. This is One News Now. Looks like firecracker vendors won't be ending the year with a bang, as sales haven't picked up just hours before New Year's Eve. That's because the National Police is rolling up its sleeves to implement the firecracker ban in Metro Manila. Justine Punsalang reports.
Business is still slow for fireworks and pyrotechnic vendors in Bocaue, Bulacan, only a few hours before the New Year's Eve. Retailers say this is far different from last year.
Mahina po kasi ngayon, ma'am, kasi pa bugso-bugso lang po yung tao. Noong last year po kasi, ngayong oras po, hindi po kayo makakaano dyan kasi punong-puno po. Ngayon po, nakita nyo nga po, madalang ang tao.
According to the vendors, some of their usual customers are hesitant to buy firecrackers because they are unsure if they are allowed by their LGUs. The Metro Manila Council on Wednesday released a resolution prohibiting the use of any firecrackers and other pyrotechnic devices in the capital. A few customers still went on to buy firecrackers. George, who is a regular buyer in Bocaue, spent 14,000 pesos worth of firecrackers and fireworks.
So last year sa labas, sa kalsada. Pero ngayon pinagbawal nga sa QC, so sa compound na lang. Kasi hindi naman mababali na kaagad-agad yung mga tradisyon, yung mga nakasanayan.
But PNP spokesperson Ildebrandi Usana has warned that no place is exempted from the resolution.
Pag sinabi pong lahat po ng firecrackers ay bawal, kahit sino man po ang magpapaputok kahit doon po sa compound ng pamamahay ng may-ari ng bahay, sila po ay sisitahin, sila po ay posibleng mabigyan ng karampatang atensyon base sa mga ordinances.
Usana has clarified that only those that can cause noise are prohibited while those that light up are allowed.
Meron po sa loob ng pamamahay, allowed po yung mga maliliit na mga pailaw, mga pwede rin gamitin ng mga bata.
NCRPO Chief Vicente Danao says 15,000 police officers will be deployed across the region during the New Year revelry. They will roam around the cities to ensure safety and observance of the ban. For those who've had their minds set on continuing with the New Year's tradition, some of the frequently sought pyrotechnics are fireworks display, sparklers, lucies, and fountains. Violators of the ban will be fined while those in Caloocan and Parañaque will be immediately arrested due to their local ordinances. Confiscated pyrotechnics will be submerged in water so they can no longer be used. For its part, the Health Department discourages the use of torotot as it increases the risk of COVID-19 transmission. For News 5, Justine Punsalang. We are One News.
One of the biggest hospitals in Quezon City is bracing for the possible surge in firecracker-related injuries as we usher in the new year. To give us the latest, we have Mean Los Baños. She's reporting live from East Avenue Medical Center. Mean, what's the latest?
Yes, Charles, doctors here in the East Avenue Medical Center actually hoping there will be less firecracker-related injuries this year compared to last. However, the hospital assures the public that they are ready to attend to all types of patients. With COVID-19 still around, the EAMC has prepared one emergency room for COVID-19 patients. Another one is also devoted for non-COVID patients or victims of accidents or other illnesses, while the main ER is allotted for firecracker-related injuries. This to ensure, Charles, physical distancing among patients. Last year, around 30 firecracker victims were brought to EAMC from December 31 to January 1. But this year, EAMC Director Dr. Alfonso Nunez III says that they are expecting a decline, citing the pandemic and the firecracker ban in the metro. However, the hospital remains prepared for any untoward incident. To date, only one firecracker injury patient has been brought to the hospital. The 43-year-old man who got wounded last December 24 was treated after being hit by a 5-star firecracker on his hand. Charles, just a while ago, DOH Secretary Duque was here to inspect the hospital's preparedness to make sure that they are ready to attend to all patients, especially those with firecracker-related injuries, especially in the New Year's Eve celebration. Charles?
All right, Mean, what's the procedure like at the triage area there at East Ave?
Charles, we were told by the director of the EAMC, Dr. Nunez, that all patients will go through the triage where their vital signs and temperature will be checked. This will be done for all patients, even with firecracker injuries, those with other illnesses, and those who are victims of other accidents. Today until tomorrow, Charles, triage will be present in 3 emergency rooms, including this one right at my back. Charles.
Right, man. Of course, we're still looking out for COVID-19. What happens if an injured patient exhibits symptoms of COVID-19?
Yes, we actually asked that to Dr. Nunez. He said even if the patient sustains a firecracker injury, but he actually manifests COVID-19 symptoms, for example, fever, cold, and cough, he or she will automatically be brought to the COVID-19 emergency room where he or she will be treated from his firecracker-related injury and also be tested to make sure if he or she is COVID-19 positive or not. Charles?
All right, thanks for that, Mean, and Happy New Year. That is Mean Los Baños reporting live from Quezon City. Malacanang hopes that 2021 will be the year for the country to heal and recover. Spokesperson Harry Roque says the government will continue the pursuit for a stronger and healthier Philippines. Roque is also calling on the people to work with the administration in the fight against the COVID-19 pandemic. Vice President Leni Robredo is urging the public to continue following health protocols this coming new year. Robredo adds that our collective actions should continue to help those who are suffering the most during the health crisis. House Speaker Lord Alan Velasco expresses optimism on the arrival of COVID-19 shots into the country by next year. For Velasco, having safe and effective vaccines available to Filipinos is the best way to beat the virus. We'll have more stories after this quick break. Keep it here. You're still watching One News Now. I'm Charles Lejano. The Justice Department has ordered the National Bureau of Investigation to probe entry and use of unregistered COVID-19 shots into the country. Justice Secretary Menardo Guevara says the Bureau will look into the entry of China's Sinopharm shots into the country. Guevara notes that the NBI will not just focus on the vaccination issue involving the Presidential Security Group. It was earlier found that the PSG personnel had received what Defense Chief Delfin Lorenzana called smuggled Sinopharm vaccines. A few days after the news broke, China gave the firm conditional approval for its vaccine. Reuters reports that the company has yet to complete trials, but the vaccine was deemed urgently needed. Turns out the Philippines is not imposing a travel ban on the United States, at least for now. Palace spokesperson Harry Roque has withdrawn his earlier statement that the U.S. has been included in the travel ban list. The government recently imposed travel restrictions on 20 countries that have reported cases of the new COVID-19 variant. Roque says President Duterte will await the recommendations of the Departments of Health and Foreign Affairs. The DOH had earlier floated the possibility of the U.S. ban following a reported case of the more infectious COVID-19 variant in Colorado. COVID-19 cases in the country climbed to more than 474,000 on Thursday. This after the health department logged around 1,500 new infections. There are now 25,000 active cases, and Quezon City still has the most number of fresh infections with 101, followed by Baguio City and Manila. 14 more lives were claimed by the virus overnight. Overall, recoveries, meanwhile, stand at around 439,700, with almost 300 new survivors reported over the past 24 hours. After a difficult year brought about by the global health crisis, what could be in store for us in 2021? Let's hear from a feng shui expert and a psychic in this report by Camille Samonte.
The COVID-19 pandemic across the globe may continue taking its toll on our finances as we usher in the new year. Master Hans Kua, a feng shui expert, explains that the fire element, which attracts prosperity, is missing in the year of the metal ox.
Based sa aking prediction sa mga gabay, sa mga chart na nakikita ko, ang 2021 natin posibleng mas maging difficult pagdating sa pinansyal. Also, mas maging difficult pagdating sa mga opportunities, mas maging difficult pagdating sa pera.
Thus, Kua advises the public to minimize splurging as the status of the country's economy is still uncertain.
Mas kailangan natin mas magtipid kung hindi naman mga kailangan, essential lang unang bilhin natin. If hindi naman natin kailangan o hindi naman kaya ng budget natin, baka kailangan natin mas uncertain o hindi sigurado kung may trabaho pa tayo, hindi natin sigurado kumusta ang negosyo natin, kumusta ang next na income natin. Siguro mas maganda na sa 2021 natin na konting tipid.
The feng shui expert also warns that the element of illness will remain very strong in 2021. He says people should still be cautious in the year ahead as the health crisis will likely persist. As for businesses, those in the transportation as well as food and essential goods industry will continue to prosper. Kua reveals the lucky colors to consider for attires and home aesthetics.
So, kailangan natin mas magsuot tayo ng mga kulay pula, kulay pink, kulay orange, or kulay yellow. Itong mga fire color, pwede natin pinturahan po ang bahay natin or touch po ng mga bedsheet natin, bed cover natin, pillowcase natin, ng mga fire element.
A psychic named Stargazer also predicts that the road to recovery from the COVID-19 pandemic will not be easy.
Hindi ako pwedeng magsinungaling na everything will be hopeful, yung bleakness natin, masayang-masaya tayo. Hindi. Kailangan tayo ay mag-super sikap, mag-super trabaho. We have to pick up the pieces. Lahat po ng bansa, hindi lang tayo.
Stargazer calls on stock investors to be careful in trading as not all companies in the market will flourish. The psychic adds that she sees more controversies involving police officers in 2021.
The police has to be very careful kasi mukhang meron tayong lalabas pang mga problema which they should arrest this. No? Hindi naman ito dapat maging reflection ng buong institusyon pero dapat kailangan maayos natin kasi baka kumangit ang talagang wala ng tiwala.
But for the Roman Catholic Church, the public should not just rely on predictions and other superstitions. Father Ramon Nerino of San Felipe Neri Church says that it is better to put our trust in God as we face the new year.
So 2021, always be hopeful. Sa pagsalubong ng bagong taon, tiwala sa Diyos. Hindi tayo pinabayaan sa 2020. Surely, may plano siya sa lahat na ito at hindi tayo pababayaan sa 2021.
For News 5, Camille Samonte, we are One News.
For more updates, visit News 5, the Philippine Star and Business World online. Visit our website, onenews.ph, for more in-depth analysis. And you can also catch One News on the Signal Play app. Register for a free account at www.signalplay.com and stream One News live anytime and anywhere. I'm Charles Lejano. We are One News.